22nd chapter comes out of the Message. A sterling reputation is better than striking it rich. A gracious spirit is better than money in the bank. The rich and the poor shake hands as equals. God made them both. A prudent person sees trouble coming, ducks. A simpleton walks in blindly and is clobbered. The payoff for meekness and fear of God is plenty and honor and a satisfying life. The perverse travel a dangerous road, potholes and mud slips. You know what's good for you, stay clear of it. Point your kids in the right direction. When they're old, they won't be lost. The poor are always ruled over by the rich, so don't borrow and put yourself under their power. Whoever sows sin reaps weeds. Bullying anger sputters into nothing. Generous hands are blessed hands because they give bread to the poor. Kick out the troublemakers. Things will quiet down. You need a break from bickering and fighting. God loves the pure-hearted and well-spoken. Good leaders also delight in their friendship. God guards knowledge with a passion, but he'll have nothing to do with deception. Amen. Good morning. We have some distinguished alumni folk here, members of the board of trustees. Yes, indeed. And these are the guys you want to talk to. These are the folks you want to ask questions of. Okay? So, they're approachable. But anyway, Mr. Wilson is going to take it over and introduce it.
Thank you so much, Smith. Smith, it's nice to be able to stand up here and hear you sing. You have a nice voice. So, welcome everybody. This is a special day, and so I have the privilege of what I'll say facilitate or moderating a discussion that's going to be on character, reputation, and branding. If you all would like to take your seats in the middle so the students can see. We're excited. This is something that actually we talked about for a couple of years. These two gentlemen will tell you more about the show. You may have seen in the weekly newsletter last week, yesterday, that the topic and then their bios, they're very impressive. What's neat in my mind is that they both care about Webb School so much that they want to be here to serve as they do as trustees and also share some of their thoughts on what Webb has meant to them, what character means, what branding means, what reputation means, and all of this is really for you all, and I think it helps us as a community. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a few questions that we've already talked about that will bring out this topic, a few slides, and if there's time permitting, we'll have a chance to hear from you all with some good questions about character. But what I'll do is I'll turn it over to Mr. Ashford, closest to me, and Justice Scott Crichton, and they'll tell you a little bit about themselves and why they're here today. So please join me by welcoming them.
Urban Ashford Jr., class of 87. And currently, I'm a senior vice president of external affairs for Comerica Bank. Comerica Bank is one of the nation's largest banks, certainly one of the bigger business banks.
dropped me off before labor. I graduated in 1972. My father had graduated from Webb in 1936. My uncle in 1938. My older brother in 1965. So it was preordained that I would do this. After graduation, I went to the University Law School, and thereafter a prosecutor in Crichton, located in northwest province of Michigan. I was a lawyer, prosecuting lawyer for 10 years, and thereafter on the district court, fraud court, free court, and general jurisdiction court, hearing everything that comes up, including anything from running stop signs and capital murder and everything in between. And then I ran for a regional Supreme Court. We elect judges in the state of Louisiana. And in 2014, I signed up and ran for the highest court of the state, which is located in New Orleans. Was elected, and this is my vision, and I'm glad to be here.
Great, thank you. It's interesting to me when we think about this topic. I've talked to you both about this, and like I said, you guys kind of immediately connected, whether it was orientation and other different activities, but I knew it sent you to care about the topic that we're sharing with the students today. So let's just start with something simple that maybe helps the students understand what we're talking about. Mr. Ashford, how would you define branding and reputation? I know you talk to young people all the time. Tell us how you think of that and what that
So, there's no one explanation for that. Branding is the message that you want to put out. How do you want people to see you, to perceive you, to view you, right? Reputation ends up being your calling card. Your reputation can perceive you, and people will react to you even before you are in the room or in the audience. I think for me, Scott spoke a little bit about his background. The way I got to Webb School was a tad bit different. I grew up extremely poor. I came to Webb on a scholarship, and because I went to Webb, I was able to go on to other prestigious colleges and universities. I ended up being blessed enough to be a scholar in many different fields. So what does that mean? I'm a Woodrow Wilson Fellow for International Studies and Public Affairs. I'm a Marshall Fellow, which means I represent or represented the United States and Europe. One of the best and brightest public policy, public affairs minds. I'm a British American Fellow, which means forming transatlantic relationships and partnerships between the U.S. and Great Britain. I was blessed enough to represent the United States, and I'm one who understands different aspects of policy, different aspects of international relations, yada, yada, yada. But all of that was kind of birthed here. It was birthed here because I was taken out of one environment, the inner city of New York, and brought here to the country of Delaware. And reputation helped me because I picked up different pieces along the way, particularly things that you guys are picking up here at the Webb. Right? All of the phrases and things on the walls outside helping to build your character. So I tell you that your reputation really matters. How people perceive you really matters. More importantly, how you perceive yourself really matters. So if you perceive yourself in a particular way, in a dignified way, in a way that brings honor to not only you, your family, and your school, other people will perceive you that way and will teach you that way.
You may note by now that the words that are on the web is not merely a spectator, but he is involved in the game. And he is taking part in the game, not merely as a bystander, not merely as a spectator, but actually engaged in the fight. highest court in the state. And there's something within that drives us to do that. I think it's the confidence that I may have learned or developed here. But with respect, I do want to comment on a couple of things regarding paragraph. I didn't really zero in on this quite so much because I'm flying up yesterday from New Orleans. This business of character, what exactly, how do you define all this? They're intangible. They're intangible. Right? I mean, they're similar, but yet they're distinct. Let me just try to zero in on that a bit. Character is sort of the aggregate number of qualities about the person or about the entity or about the business. And, you can use the word character in a lot of respects. And I noted that Martin Luther King said, I look forward to the day when all Americans will be judged solely by the content of their character. The Webb School trademark item is the character of the opponent. What are we talking about? We're talking about these intangible qualities that we sort of know what that is when we see it. We know what that is when we hear about it. And there's good character and bad character, right? And similarly, reputation and brand are intangible. You don't really, you can't make your reputation. It comes from out there, but it's depending on how you live your life and what qualities of character you have. Branding, this is the expert on this subject matter. I haven't looked into that very much. Try to zero in and educate myself on this, but branding is something that the person can develop.
Branding is something that you can develop on your own to put forth a message that you want to portray. So all of the seniors, you're about to go to college, you created a brand during your time here at Webb, right? You're a scholar, you may be a scholar athlete, maybe a scholar artist, maybe a scholar environmentalist, but all of you are scholars because you're at the Webb. The branding of that is things like, how do you look? What do you wear? How do you wear your hair? How do you wear your makeup? What type of glasses do you have on? How do you shake hands with other people? Do you stand up when ladies walk into the room? Are you nice to people? That's your brand. You treat the poor person as well as you treat the President of the United States. And everything you do, every interaction you have with the public, every interaction that you have with each other, every internet interaction you have, every text you have, everything that you do that promotes either yourself, your message, your thought, your picture, is part of your brand, and it goes into building a brand over time. So I have a quick question in the audience. Who has an iPhone? Raise your hand. Who has a Samsung? Who has a Motorola? Does anybody here have a BlackBerry? Okay, so you notice that most people have iPhones and people have Samsung. Anybody have a Google phone? Some people have Google phones. Can somebody tell me which of all of those brands has the best reputation for security? Okay, so yes, for security purposes,
lot of money. But, but she's very good. That's about 4 years. Good. But that's not the way a judge is. It's not the way a judge is. A good judge is prepared, measured, deliberate, patient, courteous to all, and decisive. And without really thinking about where I was going to go next, just simply informing some basics, much like Earl was mentioning, has led to this story. And so much of it I think I want to hear, through a lot of teachings of Sonny Webb and of course the No Rest Go the Proper Way, and all of the words of Sonny Webb, which is really about freedom. Okay, Matt, we're ready for you to fire some questions at us.
I appreciate that. I knew you guys would be great at listening because you covered so many topics we wanted to cover. So one thing that comes out of it, I wanted to touch on, and we'll move on to, I think, the slides that we have, is Mr. Ashford, you said something that we talked before that relates to the conference a minute ago, and just great if you want to add on. That some of these things that you're talking about, sort of linking to other people, I think there are a lot of students here who maybe, as they're learning life, they're trying to figure out these rules or what the rules mean. If you guys view it a little bit differently, it's something about respect. I just wanted you to talk about what that means to you, because I've not heard people talk about it or use it. Just after maybe you can start, and it's great if you want to add to that.
So I think that having respect for yourself first really matters. And when I say that, what I mean is how you treat yourself is a reflection upon how you treat others. Right? So if you use drugs, if you use alcohol, if when you're supposed to say, you don't say. Doesn't that mean you're really abusing yourself? You're taking an opportunity away from yourself to learn and to be exposed to knowledge, to do good things, great things, as you define it for yourself. So I think how you treat yourself really matters. Next, how you treat others matters. It's the golden rule. And this is all very applicable in the work world. So you guys recall me saying, I came here as a poor kid with nothing. I'm not so poor to think. And I don't say that with glee or boasting. I'm just telling you I'm not. And I'm not because I managed to have some level of success in life, mainly because I treated others with the maximum amount of respect. I treated communities, both rich and poor, with a maximum amount of respect. And I've become an excellent banker because I've done so. So part of my job is to bring bank products in all neighborhoods, all communities. So I don't just concentrate on rich communities, I concentrate on all communities because there's gold in them there here. Right? And so people won't want to do business with me if they sense I'm condescending or I think they're less than us, less than. I treat people as if they're more than. And so I think you students should, as you matriculate out of Webb or as you're coming through Webb, make sure you treat your fellow Webb students and the teachers and the faculty, the people that serve you well. Because if you can do that with people you see every day, you interact with every day, you're more likely to do that with new people that you encounter over.
So it's exactly right. And respect yourself and have self-esteem why you're here. So you can sit at home in separate rooms and get on your cell phone. But anyway, and what I will do, Matt, is I will put the electronic funds PowerPoint on the Westfield website. You might check it out later at your leisure. Okay, Matt.
Now, before you move on, let me give you a very real world story that happened this week. I was at a lunch with the mayor of the city of Dallas, along with some other business leaders, and I'm at this table, and at the table, some people pulled out their phone and they started Instagramming and Snapchatting at the table when the mayor was speaking. I'm an old guy now. I don't even know.
Not as old. Anyway, it's okay.
And I found it not only disruptive, but it was just odd. I was like, well, these people don't have any wrong thing, right? One of the people that was Snapchatting then turns and says, well, who's that guy pointing to me? And somebody told me who I was, and they then pitched. They wanted some business. They wanted me to hire their firm to Snapchat or do whatever it is they did. And I looked at them and I said, absolutely not. You will never do business with me or my company. Ever. And they were in shock. One, because they didn't know who I was. They treated me like I was a nobody. They disrespected the mayor, the table in the room, and I didn't care what type of service they had to offer, because I didn't want that sort of person representing the bank. So, it goes back to what we're saying. People are watching you all the time. You don't need Snapchat or text for people to be watching. Everyone's watching each other all of the time, and how you behave in those moments when you think no one's watching you will determine how you're perceived in the moments when people actually are watching.
What a compelling example. Wow.
Yeah, thank you. So good. Up in the booth, we put the slides up. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes, please. What we're going to do here is just go through a couple of the sayings that you on campus know well, and just a couple observations from our distinguished guests here. Do we want to start out with the aim, or do we want to just spend some time?
Well, let me say this. Let me just want to introduce this very quickly. I was going. My father died 30 years ago, and I was going through a clump that he had just about 10 days ago, and I found this framed item titled "The Aim," and read along with me. The ideal, and remember, Webb School for so many years was an all-boys preparatory school. It started between 1946 and about 1971. It was all male. Before 46, I think there was some day students and probably a small number of young ladies here. But the aim, the ideal, is to turn out boys that are tireless workers and that know how to work effectively, that are accurate scholars, that know the finer points of morals and practicing in their daily living, that are always courteous gentlemen without a single trace of snobbery. Now, understand this. Webb School, so many years, like other schools, were all male. They're also all female schools out there, and there are now and have been before. Let's move to the next slide, and I'll show you the video. At some point, and I hadn't had the time to research it to definitively tell you what year it was, but I think it was either 68 or 70 or around that period of time. And I was here then. Females were finally moved back in the West in 1971. That was a great thing, I thought. Well, the aim was to provide to be gender neutral and to correct the grammar and to make the grammar consistent with the changes. So it's to turn out young people who are tireless workers and who know how to work effectively, who are accurate scholars, who know the finer points of morals and practice, and practice them in their daily living, who are always courteous. But what happened, I might ask, what happened to the phrase without a single trace of snobbery? might be why. I'm here to tell you that, and much like Earl Ashford pointed out, arrogance is a terrible thing. And my motion would be that we add that back. But in any event, the business of arrogance to me is something that has no place in my life, and will never have any place in my life for all the other reasons. Any other slides that we have time for that?
Well, we have time, really just for maybe one more.
Well, I do want to talk about this, and then we'll go. I think the three words there that you see are really important. It's consistent with the Ten Commandments. And, for all of us who are blessed with good parents or good guardians or good adults, role models in our lives, pedigree them by your good, outstanding behavior. Think about that. Honor thy father and thy mother, pedigree your ancestors. For me, it's all about pedigreeing my son as well. Honoring my parents who died. My father, as I said, died 30 years ago. My mother died 35 years ago. I honor them every day from the work that I do. And I also hope to pedigree my descendants, my sons, my wife, my family, my extended family, and my community, because it is, to me, very important.
I can't add to that. I think about this phrase nearly every day. Again, coming from a place of extreme poverty, really changed me and motivated me to do well in life because I really had no other choice. I didn't have family wealth to kind of lay back on or fall back on. So whatever life was going to be for me, it certainly is whatever I made it. And I preach to my own children, we're Ashford, this is what we do. We value excellence. We value service. We value people first in my unit, and I manage some people. And so every time I interview someone for a job, I talk to them about their roles, their responsibilities. But I also tell them in my world, families first, then community, then the thing. Family, community, then the thing. And if they agree with that, I'll give them a shot. If they don't agree with that, no shot. And so the phrase pedigree your ancestors doesn't mean for me, leave my kids a whole bunch of money. It means leave them a whole bunch of character.
A great legacy. I think we have time for one last shot, and the class of 1972, my class, has received a message, and I thought it important. The message was special, very special person. I thought it was important to share that with you.
I have a message for the class of 72. My spirit is alive and well in the Pacific Northwest. And I want you all to remember to lead a large life. Now, large life is no mere title. It means the world is a better place because you have lived. If the world is a better place because of you, you are a wonderful success. And if the world is worse because of you, you are a miserable failure. There comes a time when you realize that the two most important things are character and the help that you give to other people. Character comes from loyalty and belief in your parents, your teachers, and your God. But remember, never do anything that you have to hide. But I want you to lead a large life. I have a message for
Tony Webb.
wonderful people come out of North Carolina. Bonnie Webb came out of North Carolina. Herb Ashford came out of North Carolina. I guess by way of that. And not supposed to lose you. There you go. Announcements. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, Judge, that we do the mission, the AIM, every Monday. And even though it's not there, that it is ended without the slightest trace of snobbery. And then sometimes they have to be reminded of what snobbery is and how to avoid it. But we talk about that every week. So it might not be written, but it's still absolutely in the mix. Gray Hamilton. He comes back to chapel at the end of chapel. Mr. Quinn has an announcement about